Hey, 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 happy Friday, guys. Man, this week seemed to have flown by faster than usual. And today, well, before we get started, do me a favor. Drop a hashtag Laurel Live if you're here live right now, or drop a hashtag Laurel Replay if you're watching the replay. Why am I asking you to do this? Well, it helps the engagement of this group. If you guys are engaging with this video, more people in the group are going to see it and they are going to be let in on some extra perspective because I got some really good feedback last week whenever I showed you guys some of the perspectives I was giving to my Lean on Laurel students. And so it's been requested that I add these little mini trainings at the begin of the Friday Laurel Lives, just to kind of bring new perspectives to the training that you guys are already watching. So in today's video, I'm going to cover a mini training that I call Hoop Perspective. And this is a simple exercise that I taught my Lean on Laurel students this week that allowed them to tighten up their ad copy and targeting. A lot of my students said that they never really saw their audience in this way. So I'm going to go over that here in just a minute. We're also going to celebrate some big wins from the program. I'm going to start installing something that my mentor does with us in our CCA certification class. And I really love the idea of bringing it to this. So I'm going to explain what that 6-word update is. And I'm going to be going over the new content that you guys can dig into. And then, of course, I'm going to be answering the questions that you guys have posted inside the Ask Laurel section, okay? But today we're going to kick things off with this mini training that I call Hoop Perspective, okay? For those of you guys who don't know, a fun fact, basketball has been a huge part of my life. And so anytime that I'm trying to figure things out, I always go back to strategy that my coach used to go over with me on the basketball court. I mean, I played basketball in elementary school. My mom was a basketball coach at the Catholic school I went to, and I played basketball in high school. And then I was fortunate enough to play basketball in college and got a scholarship. So I was lucky, that I was blessed with, being able to play basketball, and I was the free throw champion for 7 years in a row in the state of Louisiana. So I'm gonna have to drag out my basketball trophies here in the minute in the office. But today we're talking hoop perspective, okay? And like I said, this is an exercise that I did with my Lean on Laurel students to help them get absolutely clear on the level of awareness, okay? So we're gonna get clear on level of awareness. Now, what that means is there are certain levels of awareness where your audience is right now as they are seeing this ad. And one of my students, Scott, as a matter of fact, he posted in the $7 group this week talking about his, big perspective wins inside the Lean on Laurel program. And so as I was going through this exercise, he was like, "Oh, I get it." And so he is a coach for encorepreneurs. Okay, I'm going to use a couple of different examples here, but he's the coach for encorepreneurs. And so basically, he helps people who are at the retirement age start a digital business. Okay, so people who are, and that's why they call them encorepreneurs, right? They had either a very successful business earlier in their life, or they had a very successful corporate life, and now they're moving into, okay, I'm retiring, and I don't want to just sit around do nothing. So that's why they call them encorepreneurs. Now, there are certain levels of awareness that are going to give Scott a fast win for clients. And then there are some that are further back in awareness that he's going to have to do a little bit more work. And it's super important that we know where our audience is. And so I've divided it into 4. The slam dunk, right? That's, you're going to make that basket. If you're going in for the slam dunk, it's almost a surefire basket, right? A layup, it's close to the basket, but as you guys know, a lot of people don't make their layups. And for those of you guys who don't know what a layup is, that's whenever they run to the goal and they do a quick bounce off the backboard, right? And then you got your foul shot, right? Your free throw, which the line is a little further back. They get to shoot the shot without any interruption, but it is further back from the goal. And then, of course, you got your 3-pointer, from the furthest line, right? And so I like to think of my audiences, okay, if I'm going to put content in front of them, where are they in this journey? And so if you're talking about wanting to make a slam dunk, those are the people who have complete awareness. They know the problem and they are solution aware. So in Scott's case, right, he could get a slam dunk if he uses language that just tells people, hey, you've had a great business or a great corporate career, you're about to retire, and I'm going to show you how to build a digital business that's going to fuel your retirement income, right? Those are people who complete aware. They are retired. They know they want to start a digital business and they are looking for someone to show them how to do that. They're closest to the bucket, right? So if Scott writes copy specifically talking to this audience, he's the closest to getting a slam dunk. So this is his low hanging fruit. And so we're going to go tighter with our messaging and tighter with our marketing. Okay. Now, the people who are also close, right? They are sort of aware. They are problem aware that they know they want to start a business, but they're not sure what type of business, right? So they know they want to start a business in retirement. Okay. So he's a little bit closer to the goal if he goes after the people and writes copy that says, hey, you've had a very successful career. Now it's time to retire, but you're not ready to just sit down around doing nothing. I'm going to show you how to start a business that's going to fuel your retirement. So what was the difference in language here? Here, I talked about people who wanted to start a digital business in retirement. Here, they know they want to start a business in retirement, but they're not sure what type of business, right? And then we've got the people who are a little bit further back, right? And so if they're a little bit further back, they are those people who they know they want to do something with their retirement. They're not sure if they want to start a business. And then there's these people who they are retired and completely unaware of anything, right? And so these are the four types of audiences that he can go after, okay? And so obviously the slam dunk audience is the complete aware. They know they want to start a digital business in retirement, right? So these are the low-hanging fruit. These are the people that are actively looking for someone to show them how to start a digital business in their retirement. The next best people is they know they want to start a business in retirement. The other people, they know they want to do something with their retirement, but they're not sure what. And then, of course, they're retired and completely unaware of what they want to do with their retirement, right? So using this little exercise, you can kind of see, like, if he's going to create a slam dunk, but here's the thing, there's going to be a smaller amount of people. And so as we talk about how we want to scale our business, these are the people that are going to give us our cash flow. Okay. These are going to be the low hanging fruit. And so as we get our cash flow, then we could start backing into growing our business by creating offers that are going to be a little bit more broad. Okay. So it's like, think about this. If you're going for the sales funnel, you're going to target these people. But if you're going for the marketing funnel and you need a lot of education and you need a lot of nurturing, you're probably going to go a little bit broader and say, hey, you're retired and you want to do something. Here's an idea. And then you give them a checklist on how to start why starting a business is the best move for people in retirement. Does that make sense? So knowing exactly where your audience is in that level of awareness. Now, a lot of you guys are trying to get all of these people at the same time, but guys, you have to understand. And so one of the things that I'm going to challenge you guys to do is actually write this out. Like, who is your slam dunk audience? Who's your layup audience? Who's your foul shot audience? And who's your three-pointer? Now, if you guys, you don't have to use my basketball analogy. I've seen it, being played with the golf analogy. Like, who's closer, which ball is closer to the hole, right? But you have to just know that there are 4 different types of awareness, and which one of these do you want to target right now with your offer? Because here's the thing, if you try to target all these people, you're going to miss the mark completely. So hopefully that made a lot of sense. So let's go over some big wins. Super excited. Look at this. Simon Stockton learned more from Laurel and her $7 plan than I did on some self-proclaimed best in the business gurus at 100K. To top it off, the first 3 videos from Laurel, everything made the perfect sense as to why shit was never working. Just launched some power content with the ping pong method yesterday, and I'm already noticing a huge engagement increase in my page. That is awesome. So, and I'm doing these big wins because I want you guys to see how other people are using parts in the program, because everyone's going to use the training a little bit different. And so if you have a big win, okay, if you have a big win, small win in this program, maybe you have a new perspective, give me a hashtag big win and let me know what have you scored on since joining this program. Maybe it was a new perspective, maybe it was a realization, maybe you launched power content, maybe you launched an offer ad. Let me know. Miss Belinda is super awesome at keeping me updated. She is one of my rockstar students who is always using the Ask Laurel thread. She comes to the calls. So she had a little win. I created my first power content video ad last night. Not my first rodeo on doing ads, but definitely my first time using Laurel Portier's method, and I'm happy with the outcome so far. Laurel, thank you for giving so much, all the information, training, and insight. My outcome may be small to some, but it's a huge for me. Looking forward to a successful road ahead. Laurel is the GOAT. I love this. I love this. And then one more before we get into the 6-word updates. Guy says, I can laugh now when so-called gurus throw shade on boosted posts. After spending big money on Facebook ads and stumbling my way through Ads Manager, I finally found something that works like gangbusters. I built a custom audience of well over 50,000, a 6-figure lifestyle, and hardly ever had an ad rejected by creating simple $2 a day boosted posts. If you're on the fence and wondering if Laurel Portier's system works, I'm here to tell you it does. The post below is a very good example of how a $2 a day boosted post can get massive engagement. This is awesome, okay? So these guys are using my power content training. So if you haven't dug into the power content training, guys, definitely do that, okay? So I'm going to start implementing something, like I said. It's called the 6-word update. And it's one of the things that kind of challenges you. Like, you know, when you ask how someone's doing and they give you this big, long thing. Well, my mentor challenges us in our mastermind to give him 6-word updates every single week. And so a 6-word update, and we do this, like in just the post, it's like hashtag 6WU, and then you give your 6-word update. So, for example, a 6-word update got power content up and running. Another one, used ATM strategy, got first sale. Another 6-word update because, hey, sometimes we need weeks like this. Been lazy this week, nothing done. So do me a favor, below this video, give me your hashtag 6-word update. Let me know how you're doing. I'm going to start implementing this inside the program because it not only gives me an idea of where you are in the program, but it also gives us a jumping point to start really amazing conversations. Because when my mentor started implementing this within our community, we all started knowing and learning things about each other. And we started forming friendships and just little mini masterminds. And it's just great. The 6-word update just got the conversation going. We all knew where everyone was. And it's just fun to see everyone's update every single week. And so I would like to bring that to this community. So do me a favor, hashtag 6WU, and give me your 6-word update. It's a little challenging. At first, it takes some getting used to, but now it's almost like I speak in 6-word updates. So, okay, we're almost to the Ask Laurel thread. One more thing, new content. I've got my Fire 4 sequence up on my YouTube page. This is a replay from a training I did with my Lean on Laurel students. And I think that it will be helpful for a lot of you guys right here. So if you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Laurel Show. This video right here, if you are getting a ton of leads in your funnel, or you're creating a lot of power content videos and you're getting a lot of 25% views, this Fire 4 ad sequence is what I recommend comes next. And so if you watch this video, it'll bring you a ton of clarity. So let's go ahead and get into the Ask Laurel thread. That is what everyone is here for, but let me know if you guys, again, if you're watching Laurel Live right now, hashtag Laurel Live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag Laurel Replay. Adam was asking, is it better to run a video view campaign as an engagement or traffic at the campaign level? I think I meant as awareness or engagement. And so people came to Adam's rescue right here. I answered that around 17 minutes. Thank you so much, Rev. That was super, super helpful for throwing it. And if you guys like go through these questions and you know that it's answered in another training, like this is awesome. Like I love this. I love this. Thank you, Rev. Kaya says, hey Laurel, I'm working on power content ads. I've watched all the training up until this post. My question is, should there be a call to action to my mission number 2 in my cheat sheet document that I send people to people in the DM? Yes, absolutely. So if you're doing your power content ads and you have a call to action, you want to have that call to action in your cheat sheet. Okay. So for instance, I'll pause this and I'll show you guys one of my cheat sheets. Okay, so I pulled up one of my earlier cheat sheets that was just on a little Google Doc. And as you can see, like this was one of the cheat sheets that I handed out to an audience. And so this cheat sheet had a couple of things, right? I sold into my $7 ad coaching. This is how I sold out my first round of students inside the $7 program. Over 400 seats sold via a cheat sheet like this. And so as I was doing my 2 steps, I was giving people the cheat sheets, but I was also teasing my $7 program. And so as you guys are doing that 2-step, absolutely, your cheat sheets should absolutely have a strong call to action in them. Yep, absolutely. That was a really, really good question. So Suma says, hey, I'm lost as to branding, which supposedly comes before marketing. Should I hire a branding expert first? No. Before I attempt to do any of the marketing, no, you do not need a branding expert. I have never, ever hired a branding expert. Most of my students have never, actually, I don't know anyone who has actually hired a branding expert. I always say branding expert comes after the multiple 7-figure mark. Like, totally. Like you don't like those are some of the myths that people tell you, is that you need branding first, you need a website first. Guys, I had none of that before I had 7 figures. And so I said, did you start in the home section? Because guys, the home section walks you through, and in number 3, you should have a really good understanding of where you should start. And it also sends you to your 3 missions in the program, which gives you the strategy doc. So let's see. She said, yes, I did. I'm following step by step, and I'm where you suggest that I should do video. That's where I'm not sure if from an overall branding perspective, what kind of video to do. Well, if you don't know what kind of video to do, here's my thing, guys, is if you're, let me know what training you're on. So this is an example of this is not giving me enough context. And so I'm just going to kind of do, because Suma is a really good student. I just want to take the opportunity to, just kind of teach you guys how to ask better questions. So I don't know anything. Like, you haven't told me what your offer is, what you sell, what video you watched that got you stuck. And so anytime you guys are stuck, guys, give me context. Tell me, like, what training are you watching? What do you sell? What do you do? Because in this case, I would say go back and watch this, right? And tell me, like, if Suma would have told me like what she does, what's her offer, I could have advised her on where to go next, but I'm not sure. And if you go here, right, if you go to the Your 3 Missions, which is an assignment that I tell you guys to go to in the home section, confused, go to this week's Ask Laurel in the featured section and use the template below. Like, look at this. I even give you guys the template. And this is how I know when people aren't following the program step by step, is because I give you guys these prompts on when you get stuck. And so I feel bad that I can't help, but I don't have enough context in this question, okay? And that's why I always look, I even have it in here. Make sure you're specific in your question. Tell me what you're offering, which part of the training you're going through, and post the link to the offer. Not sure where to start in the home section and follow the prompts. And like I said, I'm not picking on Suma. I'm just saying I don't have now, like, she's going to have to wait until the next Ask Laurel to get clarification. And so I want you guys to be able to move forward in this program a lot faster. And in order to do that, follow the prompts, guys. Like, anytime you get stuck, just come here, tell me your offer. I'm stuck on this exercise, because if you guys aren't getting through the video content, maybe there's something I'm not being clear on in the video. And so that also helps me. Okay. So Jody says, hello, I'm currently following the Tracking 101 training. If I were setting up a Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics for different clients, could I do it all under my own Google account instead of having to log into each individual accounts? No. So here's what I do is I just have, so here's what you're able to do. So what you want to do is you want to get your clients to add you to their account, and then their accounts will pop up on your end. So for instance, my clients have their own Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics, but they add me to their account and then it shows up in my Google Analytics. So I can toggle back and forth. So anytime that I'm doing anything with clients, I am setting things up on their end, because things get sticky. Like what if they don't become your, they leave or something? You want to make sure that they're set up for success. So that would be something that you want to do. So let me get to the second question. Am I correct in understanding that I can create different Google Tag Manager accounts within my own Google? Yeah, but I don't recommend it. I recommend that you set up your own account and have them add you to theirs, and their accounts will show up in yours. That way they maintain ownership of it, and then you can just have access to it via yours. So you don't have to keep switching accounts or anything like that. I have access to all of my client stuff under my account. There's Mrs. Rev. Hey, Laurel, I'm listening to Building Your Audience in the Get Ready protocol, and I would like to know if Facebook tracks engagement on your personal page, and does that count as engagement? So from a retargeting perspective, no. That is why I do everything from my personal profile organically, but I do a carbon copy on my business page so that I can use Facebook advertising to get the same engagement. So I will get more engagement on my personal profile, but that's why I use those $5 ads and those $2 boosts so that I can create the same engagement, because Facebook does not track engagement on your personal profile. You cannot retarget people from your personal profile. And so that is why whenever I show you guys, like in the organic, so in this part of the training right here, the 7-day organic marketing sprint, I show you guys this little trick here that's going to allow you to actually get people pixeled, right? Because if you're giving away cheat sheets, you could actually do a pixeled cheat sheet, okay? You could use something like Pixel Me or something like that. But also what I've done is I started creating these cheat sheets within my funnel so that I can pixel it. So while you can't retarget people on your personal profile, if they click the link in your cheat sheet, or if you send them to a pixeled landing page, you're going to be able to retarget them. And so that's why I show you guys the Client Accelerator 2-step, because organic and paid work together. Okay, so hopefully you guys, that made sense. So Juan says, I'm following the lead generation section, but just have a question about something that I keep seeing pop up in my ads manager. The notification is a recommendation asking me if I want to combine ad sets that contain ads with the same image and copy. This can improve campaign performance by stopping audience fragmentation. The campaign is using dynamic ads. The ad's doing great. I don't want to mess it up yet. Here's what I think about Facebook suggestions. I think of them as, okay, cool, I might try it once, but typically it screws things up for me. And I want, like, the Facebook ads program and ads manager is really cool, but I find that their recommendations, and it comes with their experts too. Like, their experts are reading a script, their ads manager is prompting you to do all kinds of things. There is nothing like testing things yourself to see what works. And so if you want to test this to see if it works, just duplicate the campaign and do what Facebook says and test it against your original. I see so many people that take Facebook's suggestions, and then it ends up ruining the momentum that they've gotten. So take that with a grain of salt. Let me grab a sip of coffee. Diana says, hey, Laurel, I've been running ads for my affiliate marketing business using the audiences you explained, custom and lookalike from previous videos I've done, engagement. I recently created 2 content videos, kind of taking them to my low ticket offer. Why does Facebook have my ads on learning phase? And I'm confused that when I create those ads, like I seem to choose a country and ages again, just confirming. Yeah. So if you're using a custom audience, it's probably going to stay in the learning phase, because remember the learning phase. And as a matter of fact, if you go here, in this, I go over right here, learning phase, in the troubleshooting your ads playlist, how to exit the learning phase and what it is and understanding that. So if you don't understand what the learning phase is, I highly recommend going to this video. But here's the thing, custom audiences are always going to be in the learning phase because they're retargeting audiences. Facebook is going to want like 50 conversions a week to get out of the learning phase. And so if you're not getting 15 conversions a week, your ads are going to stay in the learning phase, and that's okay. Most of my ads are still in the learning phase and they convert just fine. Okay. So when you're retargeting, when you're choosing the custom and lookalike, Facebook will have you choose the audience. But whenever I'm retargeting, I just put in worldwide because I don't care what country they're in. If they hit my sales page, I am going to retarget them. But if you're dealing with a lookalike, it's really only going to target the people in that lookalike audience from the country that it made. So it really doesn't matter. But I always put, like, in any type of retargeting, I'm doing worldwide. That was a good question, Diana. So Alvern says, hey, Laurel, I've been following the power content ad strategy where it says you to wait 7 to 10 days and see a certain type of result. And after 5,000 impressions, it's been 7 to 10 days and I'm wondering if I still should wait till 5,000 impressions since these ads don't seem to be doing well. Should I wait to continue? Let's see, how much have you spent? Yeah, you've only spent $22. Not enough information. I would let this run longer because if you're running it, like, you want 5,000 impressions to optimize. It's just Facebook takes longer. And so, like, a way to speed that up is just add more to the budget, right? If you're spending $5 a day, it shouldn't take you that long to get 5,000 impressions. And that's what I recommend for each power content video is $5 a day. Good question. So Joe says, hey, Laurel, I'm still busy with organic. I've done 4 lives a week for 9 weeks now. Took a break this week and we'll start again this week. The engagement on my videos has died. Last year I would get 40 plus comments. I did them in sprints with long breaks in between. It appears as if I'm turning people off with my content. That could be right. I get about 2 to 3 people a week asking for my free Wixshare, but not one call booked from the links inside the worksheet to book a free call with me. I know it's not enough info to tell me what I'm doing wrong here. I just need some encouragement because I'm finding it hard to keep doing the lives. So here's the thing, and it goes back to what I was just talking about, right, with my Lean on Laurel students. And one of the things that I do inside my Lean on Laurel program, which, by the way, if you guys have not checked out my Lean on Laurel program, go to How to Get Laurel's Help, get personalized help from Laurel, join my Lean on Laurel mastermind here. And the reason that I bring this up is because inside my Lean on Laurel program, I actually have my students bring their messenger conversations to the copy calls. So we have 2 copy calls a week. And one of the things that I have them do is I have them bring their power content, bring their cheat sheet, and bring their messenger conversations so that I can troubleshoot to see what's going on. So for instance, one of my Lean on Laurel students a couple of weeks ago, she brought me her messenger conversations, and it was the way that she was delivering the cheat sheet and not having the right conversation with her prospects that was keeping her from getting the strategy to work for her, right? It's one thing to do the strategy, but you also have to optimize it and troubleshoot it on a regular basis. And so my questions would be, what conversations are you having? Like, if you want to use, like, here's the thing, we have a live Zoom coaching call coming up at the beginning of June. Joe, I would recommend bring the content, bring the messenger conversations, and then you and I could actually take a look at it to see what's going on. Okay. But if you want encouragement, Joe, keep going. Like, honestly, like, this is all about optimizing, right? Because think about this. We have to remember, who are we speaking to right now? And that is why I want to challenge you guys. If you're just tuning into this video right now, go back to the beginning and watch this hoop perspective exercise, because this right here is key to attracting the right audience. Because think about this. I was talking about my student, Scott. If he's completely, in every single video, he's talking about starting a digital business for, people who are in retirement, want to fuel their retirement income with a digital business. Like, if he keeps talking about that, they're going to be engaged as heck, right? But if he talks to all of these different people, they're going to lose interest because some of these are not going to feel like he's talking directly to them. And so that's why it's important to know this. But Joe, what I would do is I would just bring this to the next live Zoom coaching call, and I'll be more than happy to go over this and kind of troubleshoot this. Like I said, I do this every single week with my Lean on Laurel students. You get faster results, but I know not everyone is in a position to, be in Lean on Laurel, but I do want to say that the support is there, and that is what, like, a lot of people think Lean on Laurel is all about ads. We troubleshoot all of this organic traffic stuff because, hey, whether you're doing organic or paid, it's all advertisement, right? It's just different types of advertisement, organic advertisement and paid advertisement. And so in Lean on Laurel, we cover the entire ecosystem. So hopefully that is helpful. Like I said, the more context that you guys can give me, guys, if you want to follow, right, if you go to the Get Ready Protocol, your 3 missions in this program, if you haven't watched this video, watch this video. And if you're stuck, use this prompt for the Ask Laurel. This will give me all of the context that I need in order to answer your question. So that wraps up today's Laurel Live on Friday. Hope you guys have a very blessed weekend. Don't forget, hashtag Laurel Live if you're watching this live, hashtag Laurel Replay, and don't forget to drop your 6-word update. We're going to start this 6-word update. Give me a hashtag 6-word update. What's going on with you, whether it's in your life, whether you're on something in this program.